Hello, crafty friends, and welcome back. I have another layout today for my I Scraplift You. Today we are scraplifting Sandy Reversky, and I'm also playing along with Christmas in May. And so I scrap lifted this Christmas layout, and mainly what I was inspired by was her mixed media background and using the various different colors of green. And I know it had some green glitter in it. And here I'm showing you some of the mixed media products that I thought I was going to use. And the one I end up using is just this green glitter Nouveau. I think it's just green or like a glitter, not a paste, but it's like a Nouveau drop, but it's got glitter in it. Anyway, so I'm using it like a paste, and as you can see that I did start out just putting little bits of it off to the side, thinking I was just gonna scrape it across. But I wanted it to be a very thick covering because I wanted the green to really be green, that I wasn't quite sure if it would be kind of a clear glittery or if it would be truly green underneath. So I did test a little place before I started doing the actual stencil work on this piece of paper, and didn't verify that it was actually going to show up green on top of this reddish, light toned red paper. And I am trimming this down to be a 9 by 11-ish sized layout. Here you can see I'm measuring the size of my pocket page, and I like it to fit in relatively snug, and it doesn't necessarily have to go all the way to the top either. And so there you can see I was measuring. I was going to put part of the branding strip as my tree trunk. However, by the time I get done, I didn't end up putting it on because I ended up having things in front of where that would have gone anyway, and so it wasn't even necessary. So here, um, I wasn't really sure. I needed to ground my tree, and ultimately this was part of I think this is actually might be the back of this paper. So these were the two scraps that I cut off, and so I did do that first strip to be like the tree is sitting on a wood floor, and then the second strip is I'm gonna pop that up here with some foam adhesive here in a little bit, because I have that, as you can see, I kind of had picked out some embellishments here, and some of those are going to stay and some of them are going to change. And one of them is a chipboard, and so I needed a little bit of a gap so I can layer this torn piece over the top. So I have these three pictures of Christmas morning, and this is Cody unwrapping a few of his gifts. That I did split up my pictures between what I will put in my December daily album and what I will put in his actual albums that I am creating for him. So this is one that'll actually be in his album. And so that green piece that I was using, that was actually a piece of Vicky Bouton packaging from a couple years ago, that I liked the lighter green tone to go with this darker green. And so I'm just trying to make sure that I have this piece straight using my T-square ruler, and just double checking it one more time. That final time I did finally get it straight, and so here I am starting to put down some of the embellishments here. I've got these two gifts, which are from 49 and Market collections, past collections. I believe the Santa is from Pretty Little Studios that I purchased last year. And the glittery gift is a really old chipboard from My Mind's Eye. And So here I am getting the foam adhesive on that torn strip, and I will have the base of my layout done. However, I do decide eventually that I felt like I was covering up too much of my tree, that I wish I'd had it just a little bit higher. So I do end up moving all of those things down so the wood goes all the way to the bottom. And I don't know if I show that on screen or if it just shows up as done here eventually. And here I ended up needing to put the scrap piece of the torn edge over the Santa, and I can't remember why. Oh, I think one of the presents underneath was not quite low enough, and so my solution was just to put the other scrap piece there. So here I'm trying to figure out how that my pictures are not fitting how I'm wanting them to, and still have room for this title, which is from Vicky Boutin. I'm not sure which year it was from, but they all seem to work well together, and it's just in my Christmas stash for when it works for a layout. So this one here, I thought it fit really good into the space, and it just really kind of depicted how I felt watching Cody unwrap his presents on Christmas morning. So here, just checking my spacing for everything, and here's where I'm kind of thinking how I can make my pictures. Maybe it just felt kind of boxy as well. So here is where I decide to hand cut the matting so it goes exactly how I have my pictures laid out, kind of wonky there instead of being just the true box all the way around them. And so now I am putting down the rest of that puffy title here and just poking out the little sections that were stuck in the S. So that gave me quite a time here, but eventually I did get them to, to come out. So I did finally stop the video so I could get those out. So here I do decide, I just put a light bit of adhesive on my photos until I can figure out what I wanted to do behind the photos. And I do end up using these tags instead of having those Christmas ornaments hang down from the top. So once I decide that I'm definitely going to do the tags instead, then I start working on the other areas of the layout here. So originally I was going to do a red tag in there as well, but I just decided to bookend the black tag with the two different green tags. So I wasn't as concerned about what was actually on the tags, just what was at the top. So I think the tags were actually a mixture of Vicky Boutin as well as Simple Stories. So just using up what I had and what coordinated together. And here you can see I was trying to staple my tiny little bit of rub-on left that I added at the edge of underneath the title there. And I ran out of tiny attachers. And so you saw me put a refill line in. And so here I am finalizing the placement of my 3 tags in the back, and so here I'm starting to put my adhesive on to make it more permanent here. I do have it stick off the edge just a little bit, and I do trim off oh, and that tag was sticking out just a little bit too much from the bottom, so I did end up just lifting that up and cutting it off. So, and then now I'm going to work on this top little cluster here, and I didn't pay attention to that there was a Santa on both sides, and so if I'm being honest, I probably would have used the other side, but I'd already put the adhesive on with the Santa facing the other direction. So, but ultimately it didn't matter. I think it still looks good. So have my two banners up there, and then I did add another piece of 49 Market green rub-on from a past collection, and then this red glitter star. This, it was matching from that old My Mind's Eye collection. I think I got that in a like a grab bag or something a very long time ago. So I've been working on those, and I actually just purged a lot of my Christmas a couple months ago and got rid of the pieces that I knew I definitely wouldn't use. But I did keep these glitter stars, and gifts and stuff were pretty versatile, and I knew would go with a lot of collections yet to come. And so getting those used on this page. So here I did just loop through, instead of tying bows or something through each of the tags, I just used my white crochet thread and looped it through each of the tags, and now I'm using my tiny attacher to attach those to the page. I did want this specific loop up there, so I did use some of my glue to hold that down. And then I think one of the last few things is to add this little elf here on top, and then I'm going to pull out some adhesive brads, and I'm going to add those around a few places on the layout as well. And those were, oh, I guess I have a couple of word stickers that I add on, and then here is where I'm adding those adhesive brads. And so that is getting close to wrapping things up. I don't know if I showed on camera where I put the 25 at the bottom on, but I did kind of tuck those down underneath the torn paper. And here's my final act of just cutting off the edge of those pictures. And that is going to finish things up here today. So I will have links down below for my Instagram as well as my Pinterest. I finally got that updated and added to my descriptions, as well as the links for the playlist of everyone playing along for Christmas In, as well as May I Scraplift You. So here are the close-up shots, and thank you for stopping by, and we will see you next time. Bye.